Today I'm going to be talking about fear and stress, specifically in sports, and how it affects an athlete's overall mental health and overall sports performance. My research question was, how can fear and stress affect an athlete's overall performance and mental health? I came to the solution that external fear and stress can affect an athlete's overall performance and can lead to a decline in an athlete's mental health. I will be talking about the kinds of fear and stress that athletes face, how this affects athletic performance and athletes' mental health, and possible solutions. Among athletes, especially in competitive high school and college sports and pro sports, there's a common theme of fear of failure. The fear is generally internal, which means that it is engaging in negative self-talk that is usually brought upon with the athlete's own thoughts. This negative self-talk and fear can delay athletic progress and lead to a decline in an overall performance. This fear of failure can also come from outside sources like coaches, parents, and teammates where there's a worry about letting someone down. All of the factors can negatively affect an athlete's overall performance during their sport. The fear can translate into cognitive anxiety, which according to the National Library of Medicine can be defined as worry, and therefore an appearance of negative thoughts, the form of negative self-esteem, and negative expectations about the outcome of sports competition. Cognitive anxiety is fear and the downfall of many competitive athletes. Cognitive anxiety isn't always a conscious action, and most of the time athletes don't even realize the negative effects that it has on their performance. The National Library of Medicine states that a high level of cognitive anxiety will result in low performance levels for athletes and therefore poor results. This can lead to burnout and injury. It is habit for most athletes to repress any fear that they are feeling so it doesn't pose as a distraction. But most of the time, this repression of fear becomes a bigger distraction than just facing it. Kristen Ulmer, a professional skier, states to Sports Illustrated, and people don't feel like they're burnt out on their sport, but really they're burnt out on their repression of fear and how much energy that takes. Overall, fear and stress that athletes face is mostly mental, so most of the time it doesn't even affect the physical game of the athletes, but the mental game, which can be just as important. The constant practicing and focus on one specific sport can cause stress and anxiety amongst athletes because of how much time and energy is invested into that sport. Many athletes struggle with time management and making time for other things over their sports. It also becomes easy for athletes to place all of their self-worth on their sport, which can become extremely diminishing and destructive and can lead to a decline in mental health. The overall competitiveness in sports has gone up, which has caused many athletes to up their practices, workout times, diets, and overall time they're devoting to their sport. BSN Sports writes, athletes face unique challenges that can take a toll on their mental health. The pressure to perform, constant competition, and the fear of failure can lead to anxiety and stress. Many athletes also experience burnout, struggling to find a balance between training, competitions, and their personal lives. The constant fear of failure and stress of sports has led to many athletes struggling with their mental health. Simone Biles, a gold-winning U.S. gymnast, spoke out about her struggle with mental health while competing. She made herself vulnerable in front of the entire world while speaking out. Simone Biles said after pulling out of the finals of the Tokyo Olympics, "I just don't trust myself as much as I used to, and no, the mental is not there." Biles admits to sports affecting her mental health and struggling with her mental health in general. Sports are draining on the human body, but can be even more draining mentally than physically. Emotional swings and changes in mental health are extremely prevalent among its athletes. These changes in emotions, especially negative ones, have proven to affect athletes' game more than physical, according to the National Library of Medicine. Many athletes have reported to BSN Sports that they have had to miss out on important events in their life due to sports. They have lost relationships with friends because they're devoting all of their time to their sport. All of these issues can lead to an overall decline in mental health. Overall, athletes struggle with their mental health not only because of the physical strain that sports puts on your body, but also the mental strain that comes with the game. Fear doesn't always have to be a negative, and in some cases it can actually be a positive impact on athletes' overall performance. Kristen Ulmer also talks about the 4 steps in which athletes can deal or have dealt with fear. She talks about the 4th and final step of her program, saying level 4 is a step where you've gotten into your body by feeling the fear and the body is the bridge, that we cross to go from our minds to the zone, a place where you can now become intimate with the fear. By saying this, she means that once an athlete becomes at peace with what they are feeling and the fear that they are feeling, it can be actually used as fuel and motivation to improve their actual performance. The same idea is talked about in Moral Courage and Intelligent Disobedience by Ted Thomas and Ira Chalif, where they say in order to have moral courage, you have to be courageous enough to do something for what you believe in or care about. This idea can be applied to athletes. Many athletes will face their fears with moral courage because of how much they care about their sport, which can actually lead to an increase in their performance and overall motivation. To conclude, athletes' performance and mental health can be affected by stress and fear, especially the kinds that are caused by sports. If athletes can face their fear and stress, overall athletic performance will increase and the mental health of athletes will increase as well, and it will lead to a better sports program across the world.
Thank you. Thank you. Big round of applause. What information did you need that you weren't able to find or locate?
I was trying to find more information about like specific sports and looking into specific sports and which sports may have like a lower mental health level or take like the most time and how that can affect mental health level, because I thought that would be really like that would help my argument, but I was unable to find anything on that.
Okay, thank you. How is your conclusion in conversation with the body of literature or other research sources that you examined?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Sure. So how is your conclusion in conversation with the body of literature or other sources that you examined?
Well, lots of my sources came to the same conclusion that if athletes are putting all of their time and energy into one sport and only focusing on that, then there will be a mental health decrease. But also the same, it came with, like one of my sources with Kristen Ulmer, a professional skier, said that fear can actually sometimes be a positive thing. So overall, all my sources did support my conclusion, but there were some that also like kind of went against it a little bit and said that it can actually be a positive thing.
Okay, thank you.